Nicolás Maduro, from bus driver to Venezuela's dictator. Early life and the road to politics. Nicolás Maduro was born on November 23, 1962, in Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. Encyclopedia Britannica. Caracas is a big city. It is the heart of Venezuela. Many people live there. Maduro's family was not rich. They were working class. His father was involved in unions and politics. Encyclopedia Britannica. This meant politics was in Maduro's world even when he was young. In school, Maduro first became a student leader. Wikipedia. He learned early how to talk and organize people. He was not a great student in classes. School records say he did not graduate from high school. Wikipedia. After school, Maduro had a big choice. He could study more in university. Instead, he chose political training. He went to Cuba in 1986 for a year of study. In Cuba, he learned about socialism and politics. Wikipedia. When Maduro came back to Venezuela, he needed a job. He became a bus driver for the Caracas subway system. Encyclopedia Britannica. This job seems simple. In a way, it was ordinary, but it was the start of something big. In those days, bus drivers worked hard. They faced many challenges on the job. They worked long hours. They dealt with passengers, traffic, and stress every day. Maduro did something else while he drove buses. He became a union leader. He stood up for the workers. He spoke to other bus drivers. He helped them fight for better pay and better working conditions. Encyclopedia Britannica. This made Maduro known as a strong and brave worker leader. Even though his first job was driving buses, he was not quiet. He talked with workers. He listened to people's problems. He learned how to lead people. This was the start of his political life. In the early 1990s, Venezuela was in big trouble. Many people were poor. Inflation made life very difficult. Some people blamed the government for this hardship. At this time, a former army officer named Hugo Chavez became famous. Chavez tried to overthrow the government in a failed coup in 1992. He was jailed for this. Maduro and others worked to free Chavez. Encyclopedia Britannica. This was because Maduro agreed with Chavez's ideas about change. When Chavez was released from prison in 1994, Maduro was an important supporter. Encyclopedia Britannica. He and his future wife, Cilia Flores, campaigned for Chavez. Cilia was a lawyer. She worked to defend Chavez and spread his ideas of change. Guardian. In 1998, Chavez became president of Venezuela. This was a turning point for Maduro. Chavez's movement opened doors for people like Maduro. Maduro joined Chavez's political group. Maduro's life changed quickly. From bus driver and union leader, he became a lawmaker. He was elected to Venezuela's legislative body. In 1999, Venezuela rewrote its constitution. Maduro was part of the group that wrote it. Encyclopedia Britannica. In 2000, Maduro became part of the new National Assembly. Encyclopedia Britannica. He worked there for many years. He learned how laws are debated and passed. He learned how to work with others in government. By 2005, Maduro became president of the National Assembly. Encyclopedia Britannica. This was a major step. Now he was a national leader. not just a bus driver and union organizer. After that, Maduro took on even bigger roles. He became Foreign Minister of Venezuela in 2006, Encyclopedia Britannica. This meant he traveled the world. He spoke with leaders of other countries. He represented Venezuela on the global stage. Maduro's rise was steady. He moved from local worker to national leader. Then, in 2012, something very important happened. President Chavez chose Maduro as his vice president. Encyclopedia Britannica. This meant Chavez wanted Maduro to be his second in command. Just months later, Chavez died of cancer in 2013. This was a huge moment for Venezuela. WLRN. Chavez had been the best-known leader in the country for years. Now his political movement needed a new leader. Maduro stood in for Chavez. He ran for president. And he won, even if by a narrow margin and with controversy. WLRN. From a bus driver in Caracas to the president of Venezuela. This was a journey few people expected, but it was just the beginning of a long and dramatic story. Part 2. Power, Control, and a Country in Crisis. When Nicolás Maduro became president in 2013, he faced a hard situation. Venezuela was already weak. The economy depended almost completely on oil. When oil prices fell, the country began to break. Maduro promised to continue Chávez's path. He said he would protect the poor. He said he would defend socialism. He said he was the true son of Chávez. Many people believed him at first. Others were unsure. Maduro did not have Chávez's charisma. He did not have the same voice or strength. Maduro's election in 2013 was by a very small margin. The opposition said the election was unfair. They asked for a recount. Maduro refused. This created anger and distrust from the start. Protests began soon after. Students marched in the streets. Workers demanded food and jobs. Security forces responded with force. People were arrested. Some were injured. Some were killed. Maduro said the protests were part of a foreign plot. He blamed the United States. He blamed capitalism. He blamed the opposition. He never blamed his own government. The economy got worse each year. Inflation exploded. Prices changed every day. Money lost its value. People needed bags of cash to buy bread. Stores became empty. Shelves had no food. Hospitals had no medicine. Electricity failed. Water stopped running. Families searched for food in trash. Children became thin. Old people suffered quietly. Doctors left the country. Teachers left the country. Millions of Venezuelans escaped. They walked across borders. They slept on streets. They started new lives with nothing. Maduro said there was no crisis. He said the media was lying. He said Venezuela was strong, but the streets told a different story. In 2015, the opposition won control of the National Assembly. This was a big defeat for Maduro. For the first time, he faced real resistance. Maduro reacted fast. He used the Supreme Court. The court was loyal to him. It blocked the Assembly's power. It canceled laws. It removed authority. In 2017, Maduro created a new body. He called it the Constituent Assembly. It replaced the elected assembly. Only his supporters could join. This move shocked the world. Many countries called it illegal. Many said democracy was dead. Maduro did not listen. Protests returned. They were bigger and louder. Security forces responded harder. Armed groups called colectivos appeared. They rode motorcycles. They carried guns. They attacked protesters. Fear spread through the country. Speaking against the government became dangerous.
Journalists were threatened. TV stations were shut down. Websites were blocked. Opposition leaders were jailed. Some were forced into exile. Others were banned from politics. Elections lost meaning. In 2018, Maduro ran for president again. Most opposition parties were banned. Many voters stayed home. Maduro claimed victory. The world rejected the election. Many countries said it was fake. Sanctions followed. Maduro became more isolated. In 2019, Juan Guaidó declared himself interim president. He was recognized by many nations. Maduro refused to step down. The military stayed loyal to him. This loyalty was key. Maduro rewarded generals with power and money. The army controlled food and businesses. As long as the army stayed loyal, Maduro stayed in power. The country sank deeper into crisis. Oil production collapsed. Corruption spread everywhere. Drug trafficking accusations followed top officials.
Maduro spoke often on television. He sang, he joked, he danced. For many, it felt unreal. People were hungry. Children fainted in school. Parents skipped meals. Maduro smiled on screen. The gap between words and reality grew larger. Trust disappeared. Hope faded. Maduro survived not by success, but by control. Control of courts, control of media, control of the military. Venezuela was no longer a democracy. Elections existed, but choice did not. Institutions existed, but power did not move. This was the moment many began to call Maduro a dictator, not because of one action, but because of a pattern. Silence opponents, ignore voters, rule by fear. From bus driver to president was a remarkable rise. From president to dictator was a tragic fall. But the story was not over yet. Maduro still faced pressure, inside the country and from the world outside. Part 3. Survival, Isolation, and the Meaning of Power. By the early 2020s, Nicolás Maduro was still in power. Many believed he would fall. He did not. Maduro survived years of pressure. Pressure from protests, pressure from sanctions, pressure from international isolation. His survival came from one main source: control. Maduro controlled the military. He promoted loyal officers. He removed those who doubted him. The armed forces became his shield. He also controlled food distribution. The government created food boxes called CLAP. These boxes were meant to help the poor, but they became a political tool. Support the government, receive food. Oppose the government, risk hunger. Fear became part of daily life. People learned to stay quiet. Speaking openly could cost a job, or freedom, or safety. Maduro tightened control of the media. Independent newspapers disappeared. Radio stations were closed. Internet access was restricted. Truth became hard to find. Internationally, Maduro stood alone. The United States imposed heavy sanctions. European countries followed. His assets were frozen. Travel became difficult. Maduro turned to new allies: Russia, China, Iran, Turkey. These countries offered support: loans, oil deals, political protection. Sanctions hurt the economy, but corruption hurt it more. Money disappeared. Oil profits vanished. Officials lived in luxury. People lived in darkness. Slowly, Maduro changed strategy. He allowed small private businesses. He relaxed some controls. The economy stabilized slightly, but inequality grew. Rich neighborhoods glowed at night. Poor areas stayed dark. Two Venezuelas existed at once. Millions of people remained abroad. Families stayed separated. Children grew up without parents. The country lost talent.
doctors, engineers, teachers.
Maduro spoke of victory. He said Venezuela defeated imperialism. He claimed history would judge him kindly, but history listens to facts. Empty classrooms, broken hospitals, silent streets. Supporters say Maduro defended sovereignty. Critics say he destroyed a nation. Both sides argue loudly. One truth remains clear: Maduro changed Venezuela forever. He did not rise through education or reform. He rose through loyalty, through opportunity, through crisis. From bus driver to leader was possible. From leader to dictator was a choice. Power reveals character, and absolute power leaves deep scars. Venezuela's future remains uncertain, but its past is written in hunger, in exile, in fear. The story of Nicolás Maduro is not just about one man. It is a warning about unchecked power, about broken institutions, about silence. A country is more than a leader, but a leader can break a country. That is the legacy still unfolding today.
To support this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. Your engagement allows us to keep producing high-quality shadowing lessons for you.